Hello, my name is Leela. You can find me at leelameinke.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have been bringing a series of videos about pyramid cards. A pyramid card is a card that is shaped like a pyramid, and it can be used as a scrapbook. It could be used as an ephemera book, a journaling book, whatever you may want. I've been bringing a series of videos. We are on video 3 right now. Video 1 was how to cut and score all the layers. Video 2 was how to assemble and how to glue the 7 books together. And now video 3 is about how to add photos. Your book's complete, and now you need to add some photos. Now, I offer a number of options regarding these pyramid cards. One option is you can completely DIY. You can completely do it yourself. From soup to nuts, you can get your own supplies, cut and score your layers, assemble it, add photos, etc. I also sell books that are complete except for the photos. And I sell kits where you can assemble the books yourselves. And so I have all the ingredients cut and scored for you. And then you can go ahead and glue those all together, and then you can add your photos after. So this video today is strictly how to add photos, and I'm here to be of service for anything you may need to know along the way. So what do we need in order to proceed today? The first thing we need is our finished book. We're going to be working on this one today. Can't wait. You need your finished book. You need about 30 photos, and they're going to be ranging in size from, you can see here, those that fit inside of a small book, all the way to those that fit inside of the largest pages. I do have a PDF, so you're going to need that PDF too. And it basically, I have 3 PDFs for all the 3 stages. And it basically gives you photo measurements and pictures and examples of all the books. So it says book 1, you need up to 5 photos that are 2.5 by 2.5 or smaller. So you need about 30 photos and ranging in size so that you can fit them in. You need a nice solid glue, or if you like double-sided tape, you can do that too. I like glue because these are to stand the test of time, and so these are a little more permanent. The glue's archival safe, and once it's affixed, it's not going anywhere. You need a trimmer or scissors, and if you need any of these things, let me know. But many people have trimmers already. I love our trimmer because you can cut all different sizes on the left and right side, which is very convenient. Love our trimmer, and I'm happy to help if you have any questions along those lines. You need your finished book, you need some scissors, and then if you want to step it up a little bit to do a little bit of decorating on the front or inside, you're invited to do that. You're absolutely welcome to do a little bit of stepping it up if you want. So those are the ingredients that you need. You can find that in the PDF. You may also want, again, to step it up, you may want like some little pieces of paper or die cuts where you can stamp on it and make little notes and add it to the different pages, etc. And I do have some of those here today. I'm gonna show you a simple version, and then we're gonna do a stepped up version. I did say I would have a few different samples at the end, and here we are. These are 3 of the samples that are a little more, I want to say, monochromatic, or kind of just in the 2 tones. If you've been following along with this series, we had this guy who was multicolored, and he is just super fun. He's just a lot of fun and a lot of color. So we talked about that in video 1. You can pick your themes, do what you want, but I promised in video 1 that I would show you a few different versions here. So this is just kind of your blue on blue. I love oranges and pinks. Today we're going to see a little more masculine. We're going to see the brown and the green together. But yeah, let me show you a finished book, and then let me take you through how you can sort out your photos, add your photos, etc. So this was a book I made for Bob. I did have a little bow on the front as a little decoration that fell off, so I'll get that added again. But you can just have a really simple front here. On this front, I put this is going to hold all of my different examples of all the events I hold. I've got a ton of photos of all the crafting events and either Zoom, in person, and so that's what that guy's going to be. But the do something creative every day, I wanted to have that on the front. You can do like a little bow or just a plain piece of paper. And then here I had Bob on the front. I love that photo. He made a quilt for his daughter, so in that case I had Bob on the front. And then as you go through, like book 1, you need up to 5 photos, less than 2.5 by 2.5. And this is about his mom. This was a book of his mom. And we're real foodies in this house. And so just different meals we've made and served her and hung out with her. And so you can see that the photos are getting a little bit larger in size. They're not standard sizes, right? So I cut them down to fit into the decoration. In some cases I decorated the left side, in some cases I didn't, so you can absolutely make it your own. Oh, Bob's a quilter. He learned quilting from his mom, and they were quilting together. That was a sweet one. And then here, I just love this paper, so I left the paper as it was and just had a little peekaboo of Bob and his mom. In this book, I did something a little bit different. I took a photo of us taking Princess Nikki up to the Pacific coast. We went up to Gualala and Mendocino, and we were just playing in the ocean. And then I did have a little note in here. It fell out. My books get a lot of wear and tear, but you can do many different things, right? So simple. Today, the card we're going to make is a little more stepped up, but here you can include personal notes. These roses wanted to thank you for all your kindness and thoughtfulness. Love, Louise. So we just had some fun when she stayed here. I had her doll. I had my doll out. She's little Sammy. She's an artist. Louise painted this, and then she left that for me with that little note, and I just wanted to keep that memento of her. And so just a sweet little hidden pocket with the roses right inside the rose book. And then, yeah, just you can put notes, you can put photos, you can have a sequence of events, or you can have like the photos dictate, right? So I wanted these 2 photos, and they were the biggest, so they went in the back. And in this case, I printed out the large photo, but it turned out I just wanted Bob's happy face right there, so I was able to cut that down and have that fit there. Lantana from our backyard. This book, the theme of this book, this was a year in the life. It was a particularly rough year. I lost my mom, I lost my best friend, but we also had some amazing things happen too. He made a quilt for his daughter, and just precious moments with our dog, visiting Oregon. And so you can have some fun with it. You can do like a waterfall that spans 2 photos. We're going to do that today. And yeah, you can have little sneaky peeks behind the scenes, little hidden things. This is a Dr. Seuss print that I love, and that's in our bedroom, and it's just a sweet little couple, right? So just hiding behind the scenes. Maybe I could put a little note in here that just kind of says what the name of the print is or whatever. I could do something like that if I want it, but you can be as simple or as stepped up as you want. And so these are some private photos of saying farewell to loved ones. And then here I have like a little note in the back, a little love you note to Bob. This was Daffodil Hill. Doesn't exist anymore, but a beautiful place in California where they just had fields and fields and fields of daffodils. So anyway, those are just a couple examples. This one I haven't decorated yet, but I've got just, I love the two blues, and then I just have kind of all the crafting paper. I didn't even put designer series paper on every page, and it's just going to be super fun to decorate that. I've been taking photos for years of all the crafting events that I hold, and so I'm going to go ahead and decorate that book as well. But so today we are going to decorate this book. This is a gift for Bob. We just took a trip to Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, and Glacier Park. And so I've got my photos, and we're going to go ahead and at least get a start on this book. So like I said, you need an assembled book to start out, right? So I've got everything. And I kind of like, I don't know that I make any two books the same. So this one, I just wanted room for more photos. So I added some little pockets. And the other thing I would say is some of this paper I actually bought as part of a scrapbook kit in Yellowstone. So this isn't exactly Stampin' Up! Exclusive. So let's go ahead and get started. So I kind of took that PDF and wrote out all the different photo sizes. I just went through and wrote them all out, but then I ended up not even referring to that anyway. So I just ended up, I have a Canon selfie, and I'll show you that. I have a Canon selfie CP 1500, and I love it. So I printed all my photos locally. This would also work if you just went to Walgreens or wherever you go and printed all your photos. I went into the selfie app, and I just learned this, so I'm going to share it with you. I went into collage, and you can go into albums. So I did a Yellowstone trip album. I used to scroll by date to get to the photos that I wanted. Takes a little while to connect, but anyway, it's going to bring up all my albums, and then I was able to kind of collect all the photos that I wanted into one album, and then I printed them out. So I have quite a few albums, but here is Yellowstone trip. And so then I was just able to kind of select a couple, and then I could kind of pick the size that I wanted. So that's how I did it. If you don't have a photo printer, I highly recommend it. But however you get here, you're going to have your book that's ready, and you're going to have your photos. So what I did was I went through, and there's 7 books. So I love my yellow stickies, so I just kind of put a pile for book 1. All I know out of book 1 is I want this photo. This is the sunrise, and it's actually our last day in Glacier Park. So I'm not doing the book in chronological order. I'm starting with a sunrise and ending with a sunset. But I just like this for the beginning of the book, and it worked out well to put it into book 1. So I basically had a bunch of photos in a stack. These are ones I'm actually going to do another large 12 by 12 scrapbook. So that's what those are going to go in. But I had a bunch of photos in a stack, and I just kind of sat here and played with, gosh, where does that fit? Where does that fit? And then I kept, and these don't have a home yet, but I just kind of took, so this is book 7, and I knew I wanted the sunset in book 7. I might even put it on the back of the book. I also wanted When We Got Home, Cuddling with Wrigley, so I knew I wanted that. And then in book 7, I just wanted it ended up where I just kind of wanted a bunch of pictures of the two of us. So this is going to be book 7. And I won't show you all the stacks. We'll just start with book 1. But basically, I have my book 4, etc., right? So I have those all sitting over here. And then I have my extra pile, which isn't spoken for yet. So let's start with book 1. I know this isn't going to complete book 1. I don't know that we're going to finish today, but I wanted to give you a little bit about kind of the thought process and the way to go about it. And again, I can't reiterate enough. I'm here to be of service. I am here to help you. So if you're stuck selecting photos, I can help you select photos. If you want to get together on Zoom or in person and like sort through, how do you cut? How do you score? How do you like do all the things? I am more than happy to meet you exactly where you are. So one of my favorite stamps, it says, begin where you are. So I'm right here for you. Happy to connect with you and sit down and do this together. Like, I'm happy to be of service. So the thing that I knew is I wanted to start out with this sunrise photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Now, you might be a little more linear. You might be like, well, I want to start day 1 on day 1, day 2 on day 2, or I might want to cluster things into themes, which I kind of ended up doing. I kind of ended up clustering like, so we went, you'll see, Bob just got a new car that he loves, and Ed, we went with another couple. They got a new car that they love. And that was a really joyful part of the trip, was their cars. So we, of course, we got some nice pictures of those. And so I've got like a little vignette where I've got all those photos kind of together. So anyway, all I know is this is my book 1. I played around with the placement. I mean, that fits centered perfectly, and I love that. I played around with the, like, do I put him in centered? And I want this continuous feeling. So I may end up putting some kind of decoration over on the right. Quite honestly, I think I can overthink things sometimes. When you open it and you just see this, your eye's going to go right there. Your eye's not going to go there anyway. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I know I wanted to start this with a sunrise. And let's see, I do have, this is a super fun set of die cuts. There's like, it's called Just a Note, and there are like little notes and little clips and whatnot. So I'm going to come back in and play with those. I may, see, that feels too big to me. I could shorten that, you know, I could trim that there, and I might just, I think I'll do that as a matter of fact. I'm going to trim it. I'm going to put it there temporarily as a placeholder. And I don't know, and I'm just doing it by eyeball. I could come in, I should have, I guess. I'll add ruler. You know, it'd be a good thing to have a ruler too. I'll add that to the supplies list. So if you're one to measure, you can do that. Or if you're one to just kind of eyeball it, you can do that. But I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put it on just a little temporary adhesive right now to not forget that that's what I want to do. But I know I can easily lift that off later. I did use a dimensional. I want to be careful using too many of those because then the book is just going to have too much heft. But anyway, there we go. That's book 1. I didn't have anything for book 2 yet, so I'm not going to do book 2. Super simple, Simon. So let's go. I kind of took some of my favorite photos and I just started putting them where I wanted them. So let's do that. Let's go to book 4. I'm going to go ahead and add these in here because I love them. So this was called Morning Glory, and it was in Yellowstone, and it's a, I don't know what it is. I guess it's a geyser. I wish you could see like how deep that goes. Oh my gosh, it just so pretty. It's kind of like the Grand Prismatic, but what I want to do is like have it be a surprise when you open up the gate, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there because I know that's where I want, and blessedly it fits perfectly, right? So I printed things out at different sizes, and then I kind of trimmed them to get rid of any extra shapes. And it just fit perfectly inside this door right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that there because I know I want that there. Fun. And then When Bob was a boy, he went there and his favorite thing was the paint pots. So I think I'm going to put the paint pot here. And actually this was on the way to walking to one of the geysers, not the Morning Glory, but that's okay. So I'm going to put a paint pot on the right side. You can see that I don't have any designer series paper here. I'm okay. I'm going with that. I was gonna, like I was decorating. It takes a little while to cut everything. Like there's 3 videos for a reason. It takes a while to do it all. But I got a little like, oh, I didn't have enough of the right pieces cut for this guy. And I'm like, well, I'll get back to it later. But honestly, I just kind of like the green anyway, so that's fine. And I'm going to put Old Faithful there. So this whole thing really just says geysers to me. And so we're just going to have our little geyser page. And I'm tempted to put dimensionals, but I'm not going to because it's going to have a lot of bulk. It has a lot of bulk as it is. And then as time goes on, it's going to have even more. So go ahead. This was Old Faithful. I actually rarely record videos, but most of how I did Old Faithful was a video. But I did stop when it was at its highest point and took a picture. And so there we are. So I feel like right now that's okay for book 4. I'm keeping my notes in case as I go through things later and I'm like, oh, I could add this there. I'll keep it there. So, okay, look how fun that is, right? So look, it's already coming together. I can have my sunrise. I can have a little note. And then I've got my little geysers. And I'm going to do a 12 by 12, which will probably be more sequential. So I'm fine that this is just kind of a collection of favorite things. So now this is book 5. So where do I have book 5 over here? 4, 7, 5. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do 5 yet. 5 was a montage to Leela. And I feel like that's a little selfish, so I'm not going to do that. Let's do book 3. Let's do book 3. Okay, so we've got book 1 is brown, book 2 is green, book 3. Okay, book 3, one thing that I loved, we went the end of September, and so I just loved the changing of the color. And I just got a ton of pictures like the Tetons and, oh, I see. I was going to do 2 different things. Okay, that's the car montage, and this is the nature montage. All right, let's put the cars to the side. So I just got pictures from all different places, and they don't really have reds. One of the tour guides was telling us they have a lot of, it turns yellows. And so I just thought it was so pretty. So let's see. I've only got 3. I want to do them on the left. And let's think about when you open it, like what are the 2 pictures you're going to see? You're going to see this guy. And, oh, I want Bob on the left. And yeah, how about if we just do something like that? So now is a tough decision. Do I trim some of the Tetons off or do I trim some of the car off? And I like that that kind of shows the Corvette too. That's the Corvette that was with us, but there's not enough room. So I'm going to trim, looks like about 1/2 inch of the left off of this. And this is what I like about our trimmer is that I can, like from a balance perspective, I can just trim little amounts off of the right side and it's really a nice balance. So let's try this. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And let me piece the rest of them because I want to see what the story is I want to tell. So we did go with 2 cars. This is the Corvette, and I loved this picture, actually. I took so many pictures of the Corvette. It's just a beautiful car, and that was one of the cabins we stayed by. I just love that photo. This was Bob. oh, this was the first night. We're parked in the parking lot, and this was Bob coming through the tunnel. So these are the car photos that I have. So what is the story I want to tell? Well, I really want people to open it and see this page. So that's a commitment. I'm just going to put it there. I'm going to call it good. I like to be thinking about the story that I'm telling, but then also, I also like the visual impact of it. And so, I mean, if I were to do it sequentially, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, but that doesn't really tell a story. So this is a book. Well, this is a book for Bob for his birthday. So it's all about Bob. So we're going to have it be all about Bob. And I love this picture of him. I do have a smaller one, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but it's him standing, like, I zoomed in on this and printed it a smaller size. And I don't know where I'm going to put that. That might go here or it might not. Okay, so that's that. Now let's see what else. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to trim a little bit off of that right side. So you really do need a trimmer when you're doing this. You could do scissors, by the way. You could absolutely do scissors, but you do need a way to cut things for sure. So I think... So Bob and Ed are good friends. Ed used to be president of a racing car club, gentlemen's club, right? So they weren't super aggressive at all. They were actually very, well, they still exist, but they're they're really very kind to each other. Like, they were respectful on the racetrack, and they would wave each other to pass. And I mean, these were not sponsored cars, so anyway, so Bob was part of the club, and they still do service events, actually, that they both do. So Ed was the president, and Bob. So he and Bob are good friends. So, all right, let's see. Now, what do I want where? I don't want the Corvette to be the main emphasis, but I also love this photo, and I don't want it to be lost. So I'm going to trim a little bit off the right side for this guy. Oopsie, sorry about that. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if this fits. Oh, these cabins were so nice. This was, I think, the Grand Tetons. It was so nice. Okay, so there's Bob, and then there's the Corvette. And then... I don't know, maybe a little bit of journaling is going to go in here. I feel like that's a good idea. So, okay. And then there's the two of them. And then I do have a tunnel photo with Bob and a tunnel photo with Ed. So why don't I save that there? I couldn't find the tunnel photo with Ed. I know that I took it, but then I couldn't find it. So let me just put that there. I think I sent it to those guys, so I should be able to find it. Sorry, I'm going to straighten this out. This got a little crooked. Okay, so, and you can see when I'm gluing, and I do have glue available, by the way. I don't put that much at all. I just use the lightest amount. So I'll go ahead and put this here. Now, I know Ed and Jennifer are photographers. They took some amazing photos. So these are just my photos, and I wanted this to just be me and Bob. So I've got this here. But in the 12 by 12 that I do, like, they took some amazing photographs. So I'll allow myself that dalliance. and I'll put their photos in the other 12 by 12. So look, you guys, it's coming together nicely. We got our sunrise. We don't have that one done yet. We've got kind of the car montage. If I don't find the other tunnel picture, I'll figure something out, but maybe I'll put a little note or something. I don't want to put that there because I really love that photo. I might even really, I mean, it's his birthday present, but it is the two of us, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. That's a special one. So, all right, let's do the right side. And then, what did I say I wanted there? So I could put that guy there. Could put that guy there, which is kind of the water. Could put that guy there. I think I said I want to do this guy. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off of this guy. Cut about a 1/4 inch and see how that does. I feel like a little bit more. And you want to, when you crop like this, I mean, this is literally physically cropping, right? When you crop, you want to make sure, like, I don't want to lose these hills. So I could have cut off the left if I wanted to, but anyway, I like that I wasn't interrupting hills. They're mountains. I like that I wasn't interrupting the mountains. So there's that guy. And that just kind of has like a pleasure to the eye, right? That just looks pleasing, like it's a skyline, and yet, you know, it's two different photos. You know, he's not driving into the lake there. So I just like that. And it occurs to me, might be a good time to like try to bring something like this in over here to just say, hey, this is a different, it's a different photo. I mean, it's a different, you know, story, if you will. So maybe I don't know, I haven't played with these yet, but maybe I'll do them like that. I don't know, I gotta play with it. Let's see, what if I did green? Like, you can do little things like that that just bring your attention to the trees. Give it a separation so that you know it's kind of two different things. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to glue. Oh, and that's perfect because then when I put a photo on the back, I can glue over it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there so that it stays. And like, this is extra credit. I know that. So you may not have these supplies. You don't need to have these supplies. But if you are doing this whole thing DIY from scratch and you are a crafter and you have all the supplies, just giving you some ideas of things you could do. So I'm going to leave that like that. And then that's straight. I want to make sure it's straight. Okay. So then what am I going to do? That was just so pretty. You know, I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. I'm going to put that there, call it good. And you guys, this is all it is. If you want to make a story, you can make a story. If you want to just put things together that go together, you can put things together that go together. Yeah, this was one that I printed. You can tell it's like fading out a little bit up here. So when I zoomed in, I really got the change of the color that I wanted. So I love that. All right, let's get this added. Let's get one more added, and then let's step back and take a look. Let's see where we are. I don't want to make this too long. So there that guy is. Great. gosh, I love it. And then let's just have the beautiful waterfall on the inside. And then we'll call this one good for now. Go a little bit shorter. And what I'm looking at is sometimes I like the green border showing, right? So go ahead and add that. Just the littlest bit of glue. And there we go. Now, I doubt he's gonna open them up both together, but it look like if he does. Yeah, doesn't matter. They're not. They're two different stories. So, okay, there's that guy coming along. I think I'm gonna pause. Let's see where we are from a time perspective. Oh, darn it. Let's see how that folds. Does it fold nicely? Well, it'll be okay. Kind of interrupts the fold a little bit, but it'll be all right. I'm going to tie it with a ribbon anyway. So yeah, I guess watch that as you're doing your pieces, but it'll kind of press down. So I think I'm going to stop here. I have a lot more photos to add, and I'm not going to take you with me. I think what I will do, though, is I have this PDF adding photos, and I have a bunch of examples in there. I will take photos when I'm all done, and I'll put that into the PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and finish now, but you can see this is what I've selected for book 6. These are the animals, and I haven't figured out yet how I'm going to lay it all out, but this is kind of the animal chapter. Oh my gosh, we heard and saw elk, bison, buffalo. We saw a moose in our first 10 minutes. That was amazing. I kind of want to print another one of these, and maybe just the moose goes on the cover. I might do that too. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and close this. You get the idea. You just get to kind of figure it out as you go along. You could take, if you have extra pieces of designer series paper, you could take some of that and like further cut it and frame your pictures. So for instance, I could take this and like further frame this and put that right in the middle, which feels like a good idea and I might do. So anyway, you get the idea. Step it up as much as you want or as little as you want and have some fun with it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.